Dry eye, especially if severe, can be debilitating and leave you feeling miserable all day long. And the treatments out there sometimes can be expensive and hard to stick to. Fortunately, there are some things that you can do at home with little to no cost that can help to improve your symptoms. Have you ever tried any of these methods? Let me know in the comments. Before we start, there are many different possible underlying causes of dry eye that could range anywhere from blocked eyelid glands to autoimmune diseases to side effects from medications to actually having mites living on your eyelashes. It's always best to have an evaluation with your eye care provider so they can properly diagnose and treat the underlying cause in your particular case. So with that, let's get started. You can simply create your own warm compress at home by putting rice in a sock. The rice should be dry and uncooked and the sock should be clean, and it's a good idea to wrap the sock in a fresh towel each time you use it to avoid microbial growth, and that way you can wash the towels each time. And it's always good to check and make sure there's no mold developing over time. And you may want to switch it out every now and then, but the good thing is this is a really inexpensive method. Most people have rice. You can get a pound for about $1, really low cost to you. The best way to go about using a warm compress like this is to test out your microwave to make sure that you're being safe and not making the compress too hot. Usually about 20 to 30 seconds in the microwave is good. Be sure that it's resting on a clean surface or a clean plate. Always test to make sure it's not too hot by touching it to your forearm first. If that's tolerable, you can lay it on your eyelids for a moment, and if that doesn't get too hot, then you can rest it on your eyelids, usually 5 to 10 minutes or so. After that, you can apply light pressure to your eyelids. Your eyelid glands are right here behind the eyelashes, so what you're aiming to do is press from below to up above for the lower lid, and from above to down below for the upper lid. And that will help encourage the newly melted down oil in these eyelid glands to release onto your eyes. This method can help to relieve dry eye symptoms by helping to prevent your tears from evaporating as quickly. The oil in your oil glands forms the outer layer of your tears, and good presence of oil will prevent your tears from evaporating between blinks. Sometimes this oil can be blocked up, so softening the oil with a warm compress and massaging the eyelid to help to release the oil can reduce the evaporation of your tears. Depending on the severity of the condition, a doctor may prescribe this with very different frequencies, from just here and there as needed to maybe up to a few times a day. The 20-20-20 rule is a simple way to help to improve your blink rate throughout the day. Especially for people who do concentrated near work, this is an important rule. What it means is every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break and look 20 feet away. During this time, remind yourself to blink, and this will help to moisten the eyes and relax your focus and rejuvenate things just a little bit for a brief period of time. If you do this throughout the day, you might find that you're able to work a little bit longer or more efficiently, and you're not getting as irritated or as uncomfortable as you were otherwise. This isn't just for computer work and telephone work, it could also be for reading and crocheting. Those focused tasks reduce your blink rate significantly and can make you really uncomfortable, making things that you might normally like to do uncomfortable or sometimes miserable. This method helps because blinking is what spreads the tears across the eye. The pressure applied in blinking, though very light, actually helps to release oil from the glands we were talking about earlier. So having greater presence of this oil also reduces the rate of evaporation of the tears. So reminding yourself to blink helps with this process, and it also makes you a little bit more cognizant of blinking throughout the day, which is something we don't normally have to think about. Turn off the fan, especially at night. As someone who suffers from dry eye, I can tell you this one is huge. I can't read when the fan is on or be on the computer. Even sometimes going to other people's houses briefly who have a fan on can be uncomfortable and sometimes intolerable. The biggest problem with this suggestion is usually spouses. So show this video to your spouse and start it right here. Spouses. Dry eye is a serious condition and it can be extremely uncomfortable and even debilitating. Our eyes need to be open all of our waking hours, and sometimes for people who suffer from dry eye, all of these waking hours are extremely uncomfortable and make it difficult to accomplish day-to-day tasks. So this is one small change that you can do that could help your loved one in a significant way, improve their quality of life, and make them more comfortable. So why not give it a try? Give it at least a week and see how it goes. This method works because circulating air increases the rate of tear film evaporation, which worsens dry eye symptoms and makes you need to blink a lot more just to keep your normal state, which is already dry if you're watching this video. So turning off that fan can help to improve these symptoms significantly by allowing the tears to stay on the eye longer, preventing exacerbation of an already dry eye. Wear an eye mask while you sleep. This one goes hand in hand with turning off the fan, but it just adds an extra layer of protection, especially if you have a spouse who is reluctant to turn off the fan. You can get something really simple and inexpensive. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be something goofy or simple just like this. But there are also more sophisticated things available. I will put a link in the description below about some options that I think are really good, some that you can even add moist heat to by heating different things up in the microwave for a little bit. I'm not sponsored by this company or anything. I just think they have really good products. And for people with more severe dry eye, yeah, they might benefit from something a little more sophisticated. So there might be that small initial investment, but often something really simple can help. This method works because there are a couple of things that could be causing dry eye that's kind of worse when you wake up in the morning or that exacerbates your dry eye symptoms. One of those is lag ophthalmos, which refers to eyelids that do not close all the way while you sleep, for example, or sometimes even when blinking. And also because while we sleep in general, there's a lack of fluid movement across the eye. Blinking throughout the day is what helps our tears to get spread across the eye. It also, with that little bit of pressure with our blinks, releases the oil from the glands like we were talking about earlier. So when your eyelids are closed at night, your tears aren't consistently being flushed across the eye, and that's what can leave you waking up with that sort of sticky feeling. And for people that wear contact lenses, if you've ever accidentally slept in your lenses and you wake up and the lenses can feel kind of stuck to the cornea, which is one of the reasons you're not supposed to sleep in lenses. We just need that consistent tear flow across the eye. Now, this mask helps to provide an extra layer of protection, especially if you have lag ophthalmos. It can help to push the eyelids a little bit further closed. And also it helps to provide a little bit of a moisture chamber that can help to keep things a little less dry than they typically would be while you sleep. Number 5, turn down the air or heat, reposition the vents, or reposition yourself. Similar to the fan, circulating air from an HVAC system can really exacerbate the symptoms of dry eye. I remember even back when I was 10 years old, going to a mall after a while, my eyes would be really uncomfortable. Now I go in and after 10 minutes I want to leave. It might save me money in the long run, but I'd rather be comfortable. But this isn't just a problem in shopping centers. It can also be an issue in the workplace or even at home. So anything you can do to control the temperature setting to a lesser extreme or close vents partially or all the way can help. And especially if you're in the workplace and you might not have much of a control of your environment, you can always try to reposition yourself to make sure you're facing away from any direct airflow. And I think you'll be surprised how much this can help. This method works because circulating air evaporates the tears faster, just like we were talking about with the fans. So anything you can do to reduce your exposure to this circulating air can help your tears to stay on the eyes for longer. Let me know what you tried and how it worked in the comments. Be sure to talk to your eye care provider to find out what your specific underlying cause of dry eye is and get any individualized treatment that you may need. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.